Hey, what's going on, Storehouse family? I hope you guys are doing well this week. I thought I would shoot a quick video to give you this midweek update. Had a couple of things for you guys, wanted to encourage you in a couple of areas. One of them is straight from God's Word, and then I wanted to give you a couple of updates. And so to kind of keep these videos short and consistent, man, I'd love to just dive right in. And so this morning I was in Hebrews 3, and this is what the author of Hebrews 3 says in verse 13. He writes, but exhort one another every day as long as it is called today, that none of you may be hardened by the deceitfulness of sin. And essentially what he's doing is he's calling the church to encourage one another. And really that's the main thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about today. Our top priority for the season that we're in, as we're having to stay home, as we're having to be creative and even innovative in the ways in which we connect and stay connected, our top priority is going to be discipleship, and how that looks is going to be different in this season, and that's okay, right? Like, we're going to adapt to those methods. I think the primary way for you to continue ongoing discipleship is by encouraging one another as long as it is called today. And so my encouragement for you today is that you guys would continually and regularly check up on one another. This could look like checking in for physical needs. Last week we took some families some food that just needed some stuff. But in addition to that, sometimes checking in just means asking, how's your week going and how can I pray for you? And so that would be, again, my encouragement to you guys as we walk through this season and as we begin to navigate more and more clarity as the weeks go by, because things continue to change. One of the things that does not have to change is us regularly checking in on one another. And I think one of the things that we as Christians often assume is that someone else is checking in on others. And so I don't want to bother them, or I don't want to feel like I'm imposing on their day. I don't want to, maybe feel like I'm texting or calling them too much. Man, I would encourage you to err on the side of calling and texting too much, instead of not texting at all or calling at all. So let me just encourage you with that from Hebrews 3, right? Do not neglect to encourage and check up on one another as long as it is called today. Because we're being given a little bit more time, and that time looks different for each one of us, man, commit to prayer the people that you check up on. So again, man, my encouragement to y'all would be to continually and regularly be checking in on one another to see how you're doing and how we can be praying for one another. In addition to that, both via email or even in the comment section here on this video, I would love to know how I can pray for you this week. And so those would be, I guess, my first two things, right? Hebrews 3, right? Continue to encourage one another as long as it is called today, because our top priority in this season is discipleship, and the way which we're going to primarily, it's not the only way, but the way in which we are primarily going to engage in discipleship, the way we're going to primarily disciple one another in this season is going to be by following up with one another, encouraging one another, and praying for one another. So be intentional about that this week, church. The third thing that I have for you is really just an update, and it's kind of a two-parter. So this past weekend, we saw that the sermon had over 250 views, which was very, very cool. What was cool about that additionally was the hashtag digital liturgy. And so we got to see a bunch of y'all either having people over at your house or watching the sermon from your living room. So that was really cool and encouraging. So thank you for that. Our staff and volunteers put a lot of work toward that. And so we hope to continue to be able to do that for y'all. As a result of that, one of the things that we're going to be doing on the website is having this a page specifically for resources and updates. And so we're going to be calling it just the digital liturgy. So it's the same hashtag. And on this page, we're going to have everything from updates, such as videos like this. But in addition to that, we're going to have a resource page for you. We're going to have kind of a midweek message or devotional that'll happen in the next 2 weeks. We're even in the talks about a potential podcast. In addition to that, we're going to have a place where we can pray for you and you can submit your prayer requests. We're going to provide you with more content, or really not more content, but some of the content that we already have going on. We're just going to be louder about it, such as the daily devotion, which if you guys haven't checked it out, visit the website. This also goes for discipleship guides, kids worship guides. Like, we want to be able to resource you with as many tools as possible for you to thrive and continue in the discipleship of your personal walk with Christ, or even as you disciple your family. So be on the lookout for that. That should be live sometime this week. We're working on it right now. And so that'll be on the website. I'll shoot you guys another email with that. That's going to be called the digital liturgy, and it's going to have a bunch of resources for you guys that you could check on weekly, so that you're staying up to date with what we have going on and some of the things that we're going to be doing in this season. So that's all I have for you guys. I love you guys. I'm praying for you. I am looking forward to the day that we get to gather once again to celebrate the work of Jesus. But in the meantime, continue to worship Christ loudly and earnestly. From your living room. Continue to invite those friends and family. We had people who tuned in from California and Austin, and they were just worshiping alongside us from the living room. And so that was really cool to see and hear. And so Storehouse, thank you so much. I love you guys. Again, I'm praying for you, and I will be checking in on you later this week. Love you guys.